Dan first. He said he's used to it, it's all right.
We paid you down on this.
Okay, so we're looking at July. When do you think, maybe by Friday, that you'll get your information?
I should have everything today. I'd like to shoot for, unless you need it Friday, shoot for Monday morning, have the tax rates calculated, and y'all know what your spread is.
You don't have any idea though about,
What the rates will be, not until after.
do you have the, no, you don't have any idea about what the rates will be, but do you have any idea about what our actual evaluation is?
As far as what you'd be able to collect, is that what you by evaluation?
So what number we're working off of for our
You gave us, sent us estimated in April values. So do we have the actual values for that?
You've got the actual values, you just got to crunch the numbers.
Correct.
Okay.
And those should come out today. The certified value. should
Okay,
come out
that's what I'm looking for, yeah.
So we can kind of know a percentage,
Yeah.
Yes.
you know, isn't that what you're going at?
Yes.
Well, the safest thing to say is that you're allowed by law a 3.5% increase over what was collected last year. It's more complicated than that. New value gets figured in there as additional revenue. So new value and that 3.5% increase is kind of the two main components. There's other things that are, will tweak that, but that's the two main things we're looking at. But I don't know how much new value.
Well, what we're kind of looking at is how much money we're gonna have, so we'll know if we can do raises or what we're gonna do. Of course, that's always our issue at this time.
Sure. I just recommend go through with your budget process, but for sure by next meeting, I assume it'll be a week from today, if not, or the next one's scheduled, but I'll.
The record report next week.
It'll be Wednesday.
Is the record report next week?
Nope. 31st is,
I think it's 5, we'll need to publish it.
Unless you need it sooner, I was projecting by Monday morning, I could have you the tax rate calculations, that you could look at your.
We may have to set our meeting on
you're going to have the calculation Monday, we need to wait Monday. Kind of need to have it. When do we have to?
what we could do is, if we have what the certified values are, then we work up what the percentage rate's gonna be for our taxes.
Well, those come out, by state law, those come out, you have to have those by July 25th from the chief appraiser. Today's the 24th.
So usually,
I think they're gonna get
give us-
released today.
usually you just give us what the values are. That's all we really need, is what the property values are that we're gonna base our taxes on.
That will come from the chief appraiser,
Uh-huh.
and I believe that he's gonna send those today.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about, so.
yes, that's what, I didn't know if you had yours already, if it sent it to you or not.
He did send them late yesterday.
Okay, good, well, we can look at that. Actually, what we could do then is,
But he had sent them to me to kind of look over, but he wasn't sending them out to the governing entity
Oh,
until
okay.
today.
okay. Because if we could get that on our budget, then we could go ahead and post or file our draft, and then y'all could be looking at it. we really need to know what we're gonna do on salaries.
We can't do that, we don't want back the money.
We have it, we're here at the same spot every time,
Yes, ma'am.
waiting to see. All right, let's go through this and see what other questions we need to have answered, so we'll have everything finished and be thinking we just need to know when we're gonna set the next meeting. Because we had thought it might be on the 21st. I mean, what's today? July 24th. Yeah. Let's just go through these and then we'll come back to that. We'll probably know a little better when we get through with this. All right, we'll start on the first page. It is 400. And it's paid, I can read the page number 3, I think. I don't think there's anything on that page. So let's go to number 4, page 4. And the only question there is that the auditor is asking for a full-time employee. Another full-time employee. I think you've got all the information in your book, if you'd like to look at that.
Yeah, we do. How much would the salary be?
Well, I'm asking for 50 because of the level of work. And the biggest reason that I'm asking for this is because, you know, the tables I've showed you, the revenues have increased, the expenses have increased, the grants have increased considerable amount. With all of that is a lot of work. Y'all think about all the equipment that I've purchased, that we went out, that we've had to get approved from buy board, that we've had to do all of the ARPA requirements, financial reporting. You know, some of the departments, they do help with applying for the grant, but after that, I have to maintain all of those grants and do all the financial reporting for those. And grants are a good thing. They help the county out a lot, but sometimes with growth comes a cost.
They bring a lot of baggage with them.
All the hoops you gotta jump through
Yeah.
to spend that money and the paperwork,
And if, you know, and I listed all the things that I do, and there's so many things that it's just a lot before you even add all of those things to it. And so, I would need to work up here, which I did for many years. I would sit up here on the weekends and in the evenings, just trying to do my monthly, my quarterly work. And so, anyway, it just seems like now is the time that we really need to get another person in there. That is at the accounting level, that has accounting experience. It's really important for that, and so that's what I would be looking for. Somebody that has accounting experience, that has accounting education, that understands accounting.
somebody that may be able to do your job down the road.
So, well, exactly. The bank reconciliations, you know, I do like probably 10 myself alone, which is very, you know, I mean, yeah, it can be difficult at times. You know, you're trying to reconcile with the general ledger. And so anyway, that's, my request.
Plus fish. Trailer.
Is that in your budget now? Have you already put that in there, or you just,
No, it's not in my budget.
so it'd have to go in salaries?
It would go with salaries.
Yeah, that'd be, what, insurance and everything.
Gonna kick it up to 204, 506.
What would that keep it? What would we say percentage wise per employee? on
About
that?
30%, 25%.
It's, I mean, it's a $12,000 value now, insurance, $999 a month
Yeah.
per employee, so it's a $12,000 value. So whatever, was on the insurance line.
Actually, with the dental life and the moss I added in, I added it in to about $1,045.92 an employee. If y'all chose to go that route with the dental, the life, and the moss as we currently do now.
1045.
I mean, y'all could change that, Lloyd. Y'all could make changes to that,
Right,
but
right.
that's where I.
That's currently what we're doing, is what you're saying.
No, currently we're doing $896.32, but what y'all agreed to go with on the insurance, it goes up to
Today.
$245.92, based on what we currently provide.
So probably
$12,552.
insurance, what do you, I mean, with,
We have to match on Social Security and med and retirement. Retirement's what, 16%?
Retirement went down this year, I'd have to look at that number, but our retirement match went down this year, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Not what the county gives match, I didn't mean to say that and confuse y'all, but what we have to contribute this year.
What we have to contribute, yeah. It's gonna be about
so 70,
16%.
figure 75,000,
How much?
70.
So that was a good thing. I think it went from like 16 to 14 something, but I believe.
Having somebody trained in that office to take, my spot, because, I mean, right now, we're at 2 years, so being able to, I can't imagine coming in and not having any training or anything to where we are right now from where I was when I started as an auditor in 2018, with the accounting, the funds, the different bank accounts. There is, and then the office itself, there's a lot to learn.
That affects everybody. That affects all of us, but somebody,
Yeah.
What's the total?
What do we say on the taxes, the retirement part?
I think it went to
Percentage-wise?
14%.
14.
I believe it's what it is, but it may not be 14 exact.
Yeah, it's between 72 and 74. Not hard to justify the position, in my opinion.
Mine either.
It's not hard to.
Okay.
No, I think it's.
I'll add that
I think the
in.
data's there to justify the position.
I'll add that in. All right, back to the salaries. Okay, I'm looking at my budget sheet just to be sure that, comptroller puts it. We have to we have to. Where is that? Before July the 30th, when we file, we have to give written notice to each elected official and precinct officer of the official's proposed salary and personal expenses. So we have to have the salary before the 30th.
Before July 30th.
Yes. And then 31st, we have to file the budget.
So that's Tuesday. Is the 30th, is that right?
We've got to decide something on salaries. Okay, I have a question
Can't have a
on.
court before Monday, can we?
Mhm.
Can't have a court before Monday, can
We could recess till
we?
tomorrow.
Recess.
We could recess till tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And I can put up the rest of these numbers in here and base the income on the estimate that we got from the appraisal district, and then, because, anyway, I could do that, and then we could look at it tomorrow and decide. So let's see if we can get everything, would that be all right with everybody?
If Dan can give us a hint, please, sir, I mean, to you,
Maybe,
a little hint.
maybe we can get a hint,
Hint?
yeah.
Well, I
Okay,
just called the chief appraiser,
yeah.
no sense put Dan in that position, get it.
Well, he said he wasn't gonna put it out to the government entity until he was,
Well, I'm gonna go in there and see
If
if
Dan looked
by
at
any
it.
chance.
Nobody asked for it.
The appraiser may have sent it, and I just didn't look this morning. All right.
on there.
On 505, that's it. County clerk's office. Okay. Now, when you listed agreements and leases, okay, co-file is recording, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then that GOVUS is indexing?
Yeah, the GOVOS is, it's
Is that
still part
okay?
of co-file. They just, one's customer service and one is maintaining our records. It's the same company. But indexing is lumped under the reporting. It's $1,150 a month.
Wait a minute,
That's the 13th.
that's at 62,000?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, well, did we have?
I asked Renee about this, because that number struck me when I was going through the budget, that only 6% of that had been spent.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Right, but there hasn't been, we haven't been billed.
On the indexing, I'm working on trying to get, we've had trouble with their billing. Karen and I have talked about this from the very get-go. Our contract on the recordings is $3,870 a month.
On the recording.
And that's where we come up with that $46,440.
Okay, yeah.
Now, our bill isn't gonna be that much because we make a revenue every month. Sometimes and this year we happen to have credits instead of owing them anything. We had $5,000 credit one time and
But the thing is, that with that, we can't adjust we have to call it as it is.
yes.
And we have to give it, we have to do, we have to put it on there as revenue.
Yeah, and I think what they did, I don't know if they reorganized their billing office because something is very different this year than in the past.
Right.
The first invoice I got, they listed 3 months on one invoice with only 2 months of revenue. It was completely messed up. And so we got on the phone, we finally got that worked out in December or January, along with the credits.
Right.
And then February, they still owe us $147.50 credit. And we have not to date been able to get an invoice that reflects that. And Karen told me, do not pay any more invoices until we get that done. But we did, but kind of in that interim, I think March came in and maybe April, and they were correct.
Right.
And those ended up to getting paid.
Right.
So that's why it is showing, that we haven't paid much out. I mean, we may have an invoice for 580 instead of 3,870, just because of the revenue.
But if they give you a credit for it, don't send the money back, but if they give you a credit for it, you don't have to put it in revenue, do you?
You do. You do. Because it is revenue, and it specifically states that it is.
And I request them to reflect that credit on the following month's statement so we can keep up with it.
Right.
You know, if you have 2,500 left over, put that on the next.
Right.
But I'm fixing to get back on the phone with them, and I mean, I've called who we are receiving the invoices from, and also Clint, our representative, Clint Faulkner, with CoFile, and then he has gotten with them, and it's just been very hard to get them to do anything.
Right, and I mean, it offsets because we put it in the revenue, and you see
I know,
that.
but you budget it differently is what I was trying to get at.
Well, we budget it for what it cost.
Yes.
Yeah,
Because the other goes in a different spot, and you're
Right.
not offsetting it.
yeah.
All right, on the judicial software, we're gonna have to budget this time for that amount. It'll get started in maybe January, they said. But then we're having to budget for net data also, because we don't know if they're gonna give us a credit or not.
I will tell you that I talked to
So
him,
that's,
I will tell you, I talked to the guy from E-Force on Sunday, I believe, and he didn't think they were gonna give us that credit back for this year, because he said they're ready, it's us holding them off.
E-Force is something different though.
Oh, I thought you just said credit for the,
No, she's talking about the
You do?
data conversion company.
oh, okay.
Net data, and
I know I
yes.
get confused about those all the time, as who's doing what or which they are, so.
Basically,
That's
what we
fine.
approved in court last week for that data conversion needs to be split between 4 different offices. So,
And Dan worked with how many different people, people in each office and how much we needed to put in each office. But anyway, that's gonna be more because we don't know if we're gonna get anything back on, or be able to negotiate anything with, net data. Okay, so, all that being said, on line 430, it's gonna be $20,620.
20,000 what?
And that is on line 430. Now, on purchase services, you know, a lot of what we have on purchase services was for biz protects, and we won't have that anymore. So, we can reduce our purchase services in most of the offices. Did you have any specific equipment and furniture that you were gonna buy for $4,000?
Well, I just put the same thing that we had last year. What I'm looking at this year is that we're gonna need to put a door going into that storage room from the inside of our office so we can enter from the inside. And that's why I left that in there. I don't know, I
We
haven't
can
got.
take that off, because that won't go through equipment and furniture. That'll be, building.
Okay,
Yeah, so that'll be something different.
okay.
All right. but he gave me a updated amount on that. So on page 6, 430, agreements and leases, that's gonna be 47,000. Plus 45,305, so we're 47,000. And then just a few steps up on postage, you know, postage just went up. That's not gonna be 23,000, it's gonna be 25. I don't think anything's being lower much.
How much did you say for 430?
For
I mean, 430, 310? Excuse me.
430.
Yeah, 430, 430.
What do you have for leases?
147,000.
Okay, I thought you said.
You said 47.
You said
I knew
47.
You meant 147.
Okay.
You'd have to be squeezing your pennies on that. Okay.
Yeah, that's all the changes I had since I submitted this, so thank you.
Let's see, I need, looking for what questions I need.
Postage.
25,000.
Let's look at the JPs. Those start on page.
Page one.
Page 15.
The numbers cut off, it's supposed to be 18, yeah. It's a little schedule we can write on. Trying to see if we want to do kind of the same thing on all of
That's
them.
the same.
Somewhat near the same thing on all of them. They do have some different needs. This first thing is part-time. JP1 is requesting an increase in part-time from 2,000 to 3,000. You there?
Oh, yeah, guys.
And then, I'll have it on here. It was 2,000. And then,
Some going from 2 to 4.
pardon?
Settlement's going from 2 to 4. The lease is going from 1,500 to 2.
Yeah. Now, JP2, no, sorry, JP. On JP2, yes. He had used a lot more part-time because he had his older person,
Stay out.
he had his employee that had the training to do for the new employees, that's what she said. He's not older person, it's not new.
I think up here on travel allowance, I think he means 8,100 instead of
Yeah.
81,000.
I think he might.
Hope so, anyway.
Dane that is doing all our IT stuff.
Take it out.
So I think we could probably lower that considering that we do have our on-site person now.
We gave 200 last year. No, on the number,
Yeah.
number 2 judge.
What?
On the number 2 JP, we gave 200 in purchase services, and now they're wanting 1,200.
That's what it says.
Hadn't spent any of it as of May 14th.
They're wanting 2,000 in conference expense. And how much they spend?
I think, looking at this, we could kind of standardize it probably, some of it. Which, I guess all of JPs get their own postage, don't they?
Pretty much.
Not coming up here and using a machine.
Right, they buy the postage.
Got our van, huh? Let's say we gotta get across the board right here.
Now, when you get down to agreements and leases, they have 2,500, but I guess, did that have to do with, copiers that they had maybe or something? It wasn't.
Was that final, something, well, it was all in the same?
No, 4,700. Precinct 3, 2, 4.
But we did have, Hill Country on the agreements and leases,
And that,
but
we
that was
have
paid.
that set to come out of the tech fund this year, 94,
Okay, this year
this year, and we haven't paid it yet.
and the next year. Yeah, I thought so, so this is totally something else.
Now, they may not realize that it comes out of the tech fund.
Right. So what we need, we will be paying the LGS,
Yes.
and will that be 4,500?
Nobody's given me anything on it, I don't know. But I do know that I did get an email from Hill Country, and they asked if they could bill us quarterly, and I said that would be great. So that, because they knew that they were gonna be doing the upgrade. And so,
Will that be paid out of the tech fund or out of the general fund?
tech fund,
Tech fund, so we don't need to put that on there.
right. I'll have to go back and look at the balance on it, but I think I did do the budget for that.
Just
I
checking
think-
to be sure.
Yeah, I think the money is there, yeah.
Okay. So all that is tech fund on the bottom. It says agreements and leases, that 5,400 or 4,500, however it might be, on the LGS is not gonna be paid out of this fund. You just.
I budgeted $3,795 for each one of them.
37,
$3,795.
and that's in the tech fund.
It is in the tech fund.
Perfect. But I do think that the main thing is, what are we gonna do about the part-time? Are you gonna increase it? Or leave it at 2,000 for each of them?
$1,500 should be about, shouldn't it? And what about conference expense? 2,000? Conference expense? How much more conferences do they have to go to than we do?
I guess it depends on if they just go or if they send their secretary also. If you look back at the years past, they've not spent that much. Everything is going up.
How many hours, does anybody know how many hours they have to get a year? I mean, I don't have any idea.
No. I think they probably get some of that, part of that paid for.
Yeah, I mean, we have to get 16 continuing education hours a year. You can have some carry over, I just don't know how that's, I don't know how it's done.
That was,
Well, nobody spent $1,000 yet this year.
or any of the years past.
No.
They did in 23. What do you want, what do you think, put 1,500 in conference?
Yeah.
For all of them, okay. Looks like more than they spent every time, so, okay. So reducing the purchase services, since we have our IT person, anything else on that? If not,
Will we reduce the part-time?
you said 2,000 for each one.
Are we gonna reduce it down back where it was 15,000? I mean, wouldn't that be enough? 15,000? I mean, I'm sorry, 1,500?
You're talking about part-time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, we've had 2,000 there.
I mean, I just,
It's gonna be different on precinct 2, isn't it?
Well, theirs, yeah, they went, theirs was a mess with everything going on. We got it lined back up.
It is all.
Yes, it does clear, because he just asking for 2.
Yeah, he's asking too, spent 4.
Yeah.
So are we saying 2,000 for each one or 1,500?
I'm okay with leaving it at 2 on everybody, whatever y'all think.
Two, all right. Anything else on this sheet then?
No, ma'am.
No. See what else I got on the list here. Let's go back to.
Judge Grant, this really doesn't have anything to do with the actual money of the budget, but Holly and I were talking with me leaving. We were wanting to try to get the holidays and everything, the calendar for the new year up and done. And I know y'all normally don't approve holidays until September, but I was just wondering if the court would consider maybe talking about holidays at some point during the budget to see if I could go ahead and get that calendar updated and all.
Oh, but if you could go ahead and do the calendar.
But if y'all don't want to, that's fine. We talked about it in October. I mentioned it to you
Well,
all.
we can, we surely can, right? Do you have anything printed out on a calendar showing what the bank has for next time? We don't have that ready, so.
I don't have that printed out yet, but I can get it if y'all adjourn and come back tomorrow. I can have it for you by then.
Okay. All right, good. We can go ahead and do it.
If y'all want to. I just thought I'd bring it
Christmas,
up.
Easter.
Yeah, it's just the
I'm
dates.
gonna make a motion, just Christmas and Easter, no other holidays.
That what?
No other holidays for Christmas and Easter.
That's looking good to me.
That's what she said. We'll start calling him. No, never mind.
Our guys didn't get to use it as much their holiday. It happened on yeah, about 3 times, I know. We had to go out.
Find my constable's stuff.
Page 25.
25, yeah, it starts 25. When the constable is coming in your office, he'll have to go to some kind of school in Moline, you think, or do you know? I would think so.
They have a new constable, deal that they let them
They do have, I mean, he doesn't have anything for travel.
He did, yeah, he doesn't like
College
college
experience.
And they have to have so many hours of their civil process stuff too.
He doesn't have anything in there for.
We better put something in there for
Yeah.
college. He just don't know. I mean, you
Well,
know.
Bub's in heavy.
He's not having to do it,
Yeah, but
because he's not new.
this boy's.
I always just fill in the ones that they don't have anything
Yeah,
on.
I mean, I think I'd at least give 1,000, should.
And so for travel,
Well, I know one of those schools is a week long. It's literally Monday through
It's kind of like
Friday.
that one you went to, you know, you elected.
Well, we need to give him 1,500.
I give them two.
Yeah.
Since he knew, then we'll back off there. That work, Judge?
That's good to me.
yeah.
And well, if you don't use it, that's fine. Since
We're
he's
talking
new.
about conference.
Yes,
About,
Appreciate it.
travel.
Conference.
Conference.
562, 480.
What amount did you say?
2, if you don't use it, since it's new, we'll let it back off next year, that way he'll be covered. If one of them's, like I say, that one I went to was.
And that's in 2.
I guess 3 and 4, when everything stays the same.
I guess so. Stay right in
But
there.
these 2, they're all pretty well the same,
They are,
except for,
except one, Buck needs a lot more books this time.
They want to pay the
That's
grocery bill.
$7.50 on the books.
what now?
Dues and subscriptions, on 1, page 25.
Okay, oh, I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Well, he's on top of things.
He is.
He almost maxed out in May.
Yeah.
And I wrote in $1,100 on, workers' comp. Looks like that is pretty high, isn't it? But we've got that one quarters in there, it was $321.
Yeah, so by the time you get through with 4.
Yeah, okay, so I put 1,100 on 204. Everything else is pretty close. So we'll add that conference and get our books and we'll be good. Okay. Let's talk about okay. I hope I have all your leases and agreements, Sheriff. That's the main thing, because that's where the most money is. Okay, what I'm showing is, I really need a list of y'all's leases and agreements. Because I've got some of them, but there may be some new things that I don't have. But the big things are the E4s, which is 45,000. Wait, do you need the page 29?
Yes.
Page 29. I wrote these on the bottom. Agreements and leases. You found the sheet?
Found it, yeah.
Okay.
574.30.
I don't have one on the front. Here we go, it's stuff
Yeah,
in
574.30.
Well, on your constable, he doesn't have any travel, he doesn't have travel in there either. Just
Well, they
travel. Just
I'll
travel.
put that in.
Okay, well,
That's part of the salary
They
and
get paid
everything.
for
I get that off the
it.
salary
Oh,
sheets.
yeah, I mean, they get paid travel allowance, so I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes the vehicles.
what is it, how much is it?
Same thing we get.
Unless we're gonna unless we wanna change it.
Yeah.
14.4,
Is that what it is?
is it what it is?
Same thing we get.
No change there.
Yeah.
574.30.
Let's go to page 29 then. Okay, the biggest ones are E4s, and that's about 45,000. And that would, and then Motorola, that is for the body cams in the car, that's 25,000. And Guard One, which is the timekeeping, which is 6,000. And then besides that, you have like Waco, Carmona, and Xerox, Pico, Javs. Did we determine if there was anything on Javs?
We did, that's court, district court.
Yes, I just have it down here and I happen to see it. Will you check that for me?
I will, we call this in, okay, we can get her. Yeah, thank you.
Write it down so I don't forget it.
I will.
You're a good woman.
So we
I know
need-
what they say.
So we need to add 76,000 to the 23.5.
Putting all those together, let's see. I got that right. I've got 99,677.
I got 99,500. We close it.
Okay, well, I've got, like, leads online is 2490.
Right.
Add those three up, the 45 and the 25, that's 70, that's 76 on this. And then the other things, like, we still got net data. We don't know if it'll stop or whatever.
I'll put 100,000.
Yeah. And then we still have a few from over here, like I said, Waco, Carmona, Xerox, Tarrant County for that $500 something up there, tower.
Tower access.
Pico for the tower over here. What is TransUnion?
The transport company,
Ma'am?
the transport company.
Oh, out of state, is that that's the out of state
I was thinking
transport,
that's
I
what that
think,
is.
yeah.
So it seemed like we had something that we were paying every month, maybe. I have to look it up.
And the other thing maybe where y'all run those checks, maybe run through like background checks on people, not like your employees, but on investigations.
Yeah, 'cause a lot of this is investigative stuff that we.
Will you check and see what TransUnion is?
much was it, do we know?
2,400. But I think it was being paid at different intervals, so that's why what I thought.
Turns out, man, we,
It's investigative. TransUnion.
What is that?
TransUnion. It's investigated him in the DA's office.
Oh, okay, so that is, okay. And on that same page, I did put, purchase services, 1,500, because they have a lot of other kind of purchase services besides just what Dan does. And then, we got the cell phones that were up at the top, 107.
Yes.
We had 12,000 for last year. Do you think that'll be enough for this next year?
We're gonna have to add 2 phones if I ever hire people.
Okay. Okay.
So that 3871, was that just the first quarter payment or?
It's about 7 months. But
You're
sometimes,
right.
sometimes he don't get the bill on time, so that might be less than that one.
Right.
That really doesn't give a lot of help there.
But I think Leonard's phone and Richard's phone still in mine, and still in that too. So I think they're in that bill too.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's all together.
Yeah. All the same bill. For workers' comp, on line 204, I put 18,000. We had that one, 4,581, but that was 1 quarter that we paid. So, and it went up a little bit, it's gonna take probably 18,000 on workers' comp. We have a line for capital outlay. Last year, we had 108,000, but that was for the CAD thing.
Was it for the CAD or for the vehicles?
Or what?
Was it for CAD or vehicles?
No, because we had already listed the vehicles in the ARP. That was for that, and we didn't.
Last year's vehicles came out.
Yeah, one for
Do we have any,
vehicles.
do we have anything that we want to put in the budget? Is there anything you're gonna have to buy?
No, we're getting the 2 vehicles that we've already sent intents for is coming out of SB 22. I can't think of it, I mean, we pretty much handle all our big stuff
Hallelujah.
last year.
Okay,
Yeah, I can't think of anything that's.
okay. All right.
Off the top of my head.
And if you want to go to, what?
That's it.
Yeah. Moving on.
That's why I keep asking.
Moving on.
There's so much this year, I'm afraid that we've lost some annual payment for next year or something.
Well, I mean, the biggest stuff that I can think of, I believe I can get out of our SB 22 funds, because it's equipment, if need be. And then, of course, I got a grant for our computer CAD systems in our vehicles, so we're just waiting on that. That's almost 50,000. So I think we're gonna be okay. I think anything that comes up, whatever, I don't know, I need to get with Karen on what's left over from SB 22, but there's just a few things I need, and I think.
Talking about that, when do we have to have this money spent for this year?
The end of the year, the end of the fiscal year.
September.
Yes.
And this is,
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have much time.
Right, but I don't even know how much money we got remaining.
Well, you know about how much we've got, don't you?
I'll have to go back and look because we've taken everything off of it. And so I'll just have to go print and see exactly what has been
That's
spent.
a lot, isn't it?
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
With the salaries.
It was 114,000 as of, it's right here.
No, this was what I was talking about going into next year.
No, I'm talking about this year.
Right, he's talking, but I'm saying what he's looking at is what I was talking about would be available next year,
2025.
the next budget. Because we gotta file it within 30 days after October 1st. We have to file it before, November 1st for the next grant.
August 1st is when it starts.
You need to go ahead and file for it August the 2nd. Well, she.
I was told it had to be done before, by October 31st.
You have to
because our
file it.
fiscal year
Maybe it
starts.
opens in August the 1st, what we need to submit, I don't know, but anyway, I'm talking about, I'm not on the budget right now.
Right, we're talking about what we got this year,
Right.
still. Yes,
That's
we
what
gotta
we
get
need to
it
get
spent.
spent, because
Yes.
it's kind of this, who would have
Yes.
thought we need to spend this money real quick? Then we're looking over here and we.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, I can do
Other
it.
stuff.
I can do it. I just need to know how much I got. Well, you don't worry about me spending it. I'll get it spent. Yeah.
You're gonna have to dump it in the jail.
But we
and
do
get
need,
it out.
but I do need to know an amount that I have left over, because I do have about $50,000 to $60,000 of, because I need like 6 new radios, because we didn't get the radios that we were getting.
Can you get them in time? I mean, this is August.
I don't know, I need,
How long will it take you to print that out?
I can go print it out and look at it. I mean,
Let's talk about it right after court.
okay.
'Cause we talked about this for, I don't know how long, and I hope we're not getting them a penny.
You got it.
Right. What else do I need to talk about? All right, I think 670 is one we need to talk about. We got an email from the Moody Bradley House. I had called in, they sent their email, and they would like to thank the county commissioner's support for supporting the Moody Bradley House for the fiscal year 24. Well, 24, yeah, and I would like an give an update as well as a request for continued funding. With the support provided by the Freestone County, a curator, activities director, Terry Pryor Patterson was hired. Janet Birdsall also has been employed as a PRN staff during times when Terry is unavailable. This has allowed the Moody Bradley House to have open hours of operation. House is now open for tours on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday from 10 to 2 and 1 to 5. This has resulted in a much greater amount of drop-in visits to the house. Anyway, let me see. They're currently working on the development of a heritage tourism program. And they're respectfully requesting $15,600.
Same thing as last year.
Same thing as last year, so we got that. We also, let's see, you have maybe a little stuff in there about, did you get anything about the Veterans Park?
Yeah, they don't like to get the same thing.
Same thing, okay. 2,500, nope, yep, put that in. Now on line 482, insurance, you said there was an increase. Do you think it was 200,000 we had budgeted and 255? Is that going to be enough?
I think so.
255?
255.
Auditing went from 27,500 to 30,000.
Mm-hmm.
Is that?
And he's doing those accounting standards too, so he's doing those leases, that GASB 87 and 96, and keeping up with all of that for us, so.
And all that
cost
is
us an
in,
extra-
within that 30,000.
Within that,
Happy days, okay.
So it stays at 30?
Yes. Now, the libraries have not brought theirs to us yet, but do we want to stay at the same amount unless we get something different from
I'd like
them?
to.
That's good, same now.
That's what we usually do. Now, we've talked about the historical grant. If we do get the grant, we'll have to budget for that percentage, whatever it might be. But we'll probably do that out of fund balance. So that's not going to affect what we're doing here. So we'll know, we should know anytime. We've talked about that before, about what we're gonna do about cleaning. We've gotten more buildings and more stuff that needs to be done. We've talked about maybe thinking about a cleaning service. We do have Steve that does take the inmates around for the bigger, heavier stuff. But we have some of the offices that really need a little more cleaning. You wanna think about that? That's something we talked about, but we really need to try to firm up by how much we would wanna budget for that. I'm thinking, that's about all that I have really. We're having to budget a little bit more because of the new things that we're getting in, and then the net data we're still having to pay, so.
On elections, are we going to go forward with the ladder?
Boxes.
Yeah,
I thought maybe we were gonna talk to her about trying to get those in this budget.
Okay. I know we did on the lights, and I've already contacted John on them.
And the signs on the.
The signs, yeah, that needs to be
We're gonna do
done right
that.
now.
That's 600? 600? No.
Stanley looked at the gate, didn't he?
I just have to think about it. Huh?
Did Stanley look at the gate?
Stanley said, get, Geiges to put a surge protector on it, and if it kept tripping the motor, then it was motor badly. Better put the surge protector on it just to see before we went too expensive new motor. And he was ordering the surge protector when I talked to him Monday.
It is page 33. I haven't looked at it currently, but I bet we could go ahead and try to get those before the next election.
I think it'd be great for the election workers.
And we have money in contingency that because they're not that expensive. So let's go ahead and get those.
Is there any way we can get that information from that guy this afternoon, and when we come back and finish, do the stuff for the, up there this afternoon? Instead of tomorrow?
Which fellow?
Aren't you gonna get some evaluation or something from the,
I'm gonna go look. They may have already sent it.
I mean, if we take a lunch break?
We sure can.
No, because I have a doctor's appointment in the morning.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I guess got in the morning, but I can finish it at 9:30.
Well, he wants to take a lunch break and come back this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, I just soon come back this
I
afternoon.
got therapy at 3:40, so I just essentially have therapy anyway.
Okay.
That's okay.
Is it 12 o'clock?
After.
Oh, no. Oh, I thought y'all were hollering by
I thought
then.
you heard me.
Well, we
Stomach
just
growling, that's why I said it.
Okay, we're gonna take a little break and come back at about 1:30.
Thank you, Judge.